this is for 2020. We're doing this at the end of 2019.
Right.
But this has become obvious by the end of 2019, correct?
Right.
So now for 2020, this is like the new deal. And the new deal is what a year or two ago they were referring to as your brand. People would refer to your brand and syncing up your citations. They used to use the word NAP. You don't really hear that anymore, do you?
Yeah, hardly anybody says it anymore.
Name, address, phone number, and like, we have to sync up your NAP on all these citations, and if we just do that, it'll be with 100 different, more legitimate directories than the old cruddy directories that we used to do.
There's not 100 legitimate directories.
Yeah, there's not.
Like 10.
There might be about 10 that Google cares to monitor for you. So when people tell you they're doing 100, it doesn't really matter.
It's fluff. Yeah.
So they would do that and say, if we just get this, and they're like, oh no, sir, you're getting, all these signals are coming in. They're like, oh yeah, and we would talk to people and they're like, Nolan, I'm getting proper SEO, for $199, bro. And I'm like, well.
No.
Okay, but you called presumably for some problem.
Yeah, for some reason.
Right. Hey there, guys. It's Nolan Walker and Jason, Director of Operations here at Roofing Webmasters.
Howdy.
Today's title is Mega Roofing SEO Changes in 2020. So we're going to hit this from two angles on the word mega changes for roofing SEO. And I guess the first one's going to be, let's talk about what we're now considering like the quality base of SEO.
Okay.
Because it definitely, I guess had Google not gone to a new level, now don't get me wrong, like 95% of SEO is poor quality and bad.
Yeah,
the problem
95% of it done out there.
Is cheap templates, no content, never worked on, slopped up. They throw you a report from a citation program.
Yeah, gimmicky stuff made to make it seem like they're doing stuff that doesn't actually.
Right. Now, having said that, the 5% that were out there. So after 2012 and 13, there was this period of just kind of people flailing about, right? Treading, not even really, they're sinking and not doing well. Lots of SEO firms went out of business and digital marketing agencies because they didn't do quality work. And then a group of people, us before that happened, by the way, doing quality work emerged. And then a few of them did do quality work. So if there was enough people in a market that did a decent content, decent design, and worked on stuff, then everything's the same again in the top 10.
Right.
Right.
Because everybody started following the rules.
Not every. Yeah, 1 out of 20 is enough.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden everything leveled out again.
Things level out, and it's like, okay, well, how do you differentiate someone that's better in a marketplace?
Right.
Because again, your chance of finding us is 1 in 20 max, I think.
Right.
So, and even so they have this base level stuff. So this base level stuff comes in. You have to have this first to even really play and get a good grade from Google. And that would be stuff like quality design. We do custom WordPress, as you know, and we do over 100 points of schema. It's a language that helps Google parcel data. We do rich content. Without that, you have not the basis for keyword search.
Right.
No, not on organic nor on mapping won't show up as well. And so you're doing that now, and you have a lot of content that gets added and changed, and code gets updated, right?
Right.
Design gets redone, blogging gets done. Somebody went in and this was even base level at this point, was citations were done.
Right.
Work in GMB, and your Google My Business is worked on. And so and then maybe the client does some other stuff, like pays a lead company, or does some social media, or we might manage pay-per-click or Facebook.
Right.
That is base level stuff.
Yeah, that's what essentially everybody should be doing.
That's what everybody should be doing. And here's the thing, there's enough people doing some version of that to clog up the top 10 a little bit. Now, we literally will still beat people out all the time on base level work because our base level work is so superior. Things like 100 points of schema code and that content.
Where other people barely hit 10. And
they're in single digit schema code items, and we're in over 100. Their content is okay, ours is super fantastic and more of it. And so we'll still beat people there, but now Google started looking at new stuff, and it really became prevalent. This is for 2020, we're doing this at the end of 2019,
right.
But this has become obvious by the end of 2019, correct? So now for 2020, this is like the New Deal. And the New Deal is what a year or two ago they're referring to as your brand. People would refer to your brand and syncing up your citations. They used to use the word NAP. You don't really hear that anymore, do you?
Yeah, hardly anybody says it anymore.
Name, address, phone number, and you're like, oh, we have to sync up your NAP on all these citations, and if we just do that, it'll be with 100 different, more legitimate directories than the old cruddy directories that we used to do.
There's not 100 legitimate directories.
Yeah, there's not.
Like 10.
There might be about 10 that Google cares to monitor for you. So when people tell you they're doing 100, it doesn't really matter.
It's fluff. Yeah.
So they would do that and say, if we just get this, and they're like, oh no, sir, you're getting, all these signals are coming in. They're like, oh yeah, and we would talk to people and they're like, Nolan, I'm getting proper SEO, for $199, bro. And I'm like, well.
No.
Okay, but you called presumably for some problem.
Yeah, for some reason.
Right. And so then, but anyway, so you have this base level stuff, citations done and thrown into it, and now you went with a better firm, and you're like, okay, I should be doing well, but I'm losing ground. Why?
Right.
And now, so people used to talk about branding as it related to citation, and then they started looking at it as like, gosh, you need custom design and code base and schema code and content and blogging and citations and work in GMB and GMB postings and maybe a little social media. So all and don't get scared by this either, because you can get we still have stuff for well under $1,000 a month.
Right.
And we're month to month with $99 to start. And I wanted to do one called Skin in the Game, by the way, because somebody was touting that, because people say, well, you say the same thing that everybody does. I said, no, we don't. We absolutely don't. I said, everyone says the same thing that we do, but they copied us and a couple other people.
Exactly.
Because there might only be a good 100 good agencies to go to, and in roofing you might, well, I mean, I always
specializing in roofing, what?
Yeah, find somebody
3, 4?
that knows your products and services beyond us. Find somebody that knows how to do over 100 pages of roofing stuff, all uniquely written.
Right.
There isn't anybody in roofing that does the quality level. So you have the base stuff. You switch the thought process from brand to, you can go with the acronym. I remember it at this point, but the acronym.
The EAT?
EAT.
Expertise, authority, and trust.
So that means that they've broken that down a little bit better, and now they're looking at your expertise. Give an example of expertise signaling from Google, because you seem to parcel it out better than I do.
Expertise is the services that you claim to do. With the types of, if you're a roofer, the types of roofing you do, what you specialize in, that's where your expertise is. Your authority is then established by the quality of the content where you're discussing that expertise. Like you say, we do tile roofing. And then you go into all the different types of tile and how you put them on and what's the advantages of one over the other. And then you've got expertise and authority.
I would like to say that trust is the most important part of all this. So if you consider the expertise and the authority being base level things,
right?
It was originally part of the base that, frankly, most of you guys have never gotten done properly. So you've never had this done well, anyway. And you aren't not up in ranking only because of the trust part and the review part that we're going to talk about in a second. You're not up in ranking because your base is all screwed up too.
Right.
So just
you can't get the T without the E and the A.
Right. And so don't assume that, that's the missing link. No, it's not one thing. And I know from doing this for years that if you're watching a video through, other than being a competitor, if you're actually somebody considering services with us, you have your base messed up. Nobody calls without the base messed up. So the trust factor would be now what I would even consider the most important thing, which would be reviews and the integrated process of the reviews.
Right.
So trust
the trust is the thing that Google uses to decide if the first two parts, the expertise and the authority, are valid.
Yeah.
Anybody can get somebody to put pages saying this, but you have to establish trust so that they believe that you're being honest.
Part of authority could be argued to be ongoing content and
I mean that just increases your authority over time when you go deep dive into those subjects.
If you have deep dive on content and you have all your single ply pages, a page for TPO or EPDM or PVC, or you're talking about storm, but you have a page for hail and wind, and insurance claims help and stuff like that, that deep content makes you more of an authority.
Right.
But then why would they show it above other people? And so as you begin to integrate stuff like reviews, here's another thing too that's changing, or that we're helping change too, is that reviews, somebody say they do 100 roofs in a year and they get 20 reviews, and they're like, well, I'm doing good getting reviews, and so, but we have,
and 1 in 5 is pretty good, actually.
It's not bad. So if somebody does 100 roofs and get 20 reviews, and you might be doing 20 roofs and get 5 reviews or whatever it is, or 4, but anyway, you're getting your reviews, but the reviews are housed just on Google or Yelp or Home Advisor or something like that, or Google, Yelp, Facebook. Maybe.
Right. Yeah.
That would be the ones I'd count as stuff that they actually do get some credit for auxiliary reviews. And now we have a product we're using currently called Righteous Reviews, and we integrate the short code on the Righteous Reviews to all your city and service pages, so that when you do a check-in, you get to pick, I am doing, a TPO roof repair in this city, and you pick your city page and your service page. And the thing that's so cool about it, and this helps with your authority and trust through Google, I guess, and it helps with all of it.
It helps with all three. That's the thing.
All three.
We've got the E and the A already kind of somewhat established, and then we go to the T with the check-in and the review, but then we also loop it back and we create this this sort of
self-supportive structure,
kind of a perpetual motion engine that keeps
symbiotic
going. And this virtuous circle, that was the word I was looking for.
Okay.
Who just keeps going, and all parts of this feed
it's
back
righteous
in.
And virtuous?
Righteous and virtuous. It's a righteous circle. Sorry, I was off brand.
All right, it's virtuous. I mean, it's righteous. Virtuous reviews doesn't sound like good. All right, so I didn't go back. So righteous review, if you have like great rich content and you have pages that can optimize, but the pages are sitting there and they're they're not as active as they could be, right? And so now you did 100 roofs, and every time this Righteous Reviews allows you to do this little web-based app on your phone, and you left the job site and you said, hey, well, we appreciate the business. They said, oh, it looks great, thanks so much. Say, hey, please give us a review online, and just search our name on Google. You'll see it pop up. And they go, okay, thanks, Bob. We'll do that. And you leave, and like 1 out of 10 do.
Yeah.
And so then before you leave the house, you took a picture of it. Said, I just did a TPO, or I did a house to TPO. But anyway, you know what I mean. So say you're at a house now, you did a hail damage roof repair, and you picked the city.
Right.
You took a picture, or if you're on a flat roof, you did TPO, you took a picture. And then you leave, you wave. Before you leave the job premise, you took a picture and said, I just did a hail damage roof repair in this city, TX, or whatever state abbreviation. And then you put the client's cell phone and or email down, and you hit send. And you hit the button, and all of a sudden it geolocates where you are within 2 blocks, which puts a red pin on the page of the city page and the service page and a main map page.
Right.
And Google can read the geocode. It's called check-in, and you remember the 100 points of schema we were talking about? It's a schema-based check-in that can be read.
Yeah.
And then the picture goes up, and you guys may not know it's unique content. They can tell that they've never seen this photo before, and it has a little caption that ties them in, and it correlates with the exact page that you'd like to show up on Google search rankings.
Both the location page and the service page.
The location page and the service page.
Yeah, so it hits twice.
So all of a sudden, Google, let's say that you're in a town of 250,000 roofers, and 250,000 people with, I don't know, let's say that 10 roofers have done city pages all around the Metroplex and some service pages.
Yeah, going into 2020, you're not the only one with city and service pages.
Yeah, so over 10 people have city and service pages now, and they have some stuff down. Whether it's done as quality or not, they have it. Now, we do a better quality, and we automatically would beat people out of some of these rankings for just higher end code base, better content, better setup of your web effort around the web. But now, you're the only guy that is making changes to city and service pages. And just to illustrate how powerful it is, remember, if you ask them 1 out of 10 might, if you ask them nice enough, you like dive into it,
Right.
and then you text them and email them, 1 out of 5 does. But now the 80% who didn't still did a check-in, a caption, and a photo.
And the check-in is worth something. It's worth just as much as the review.
And those went on one page and another page. So you have 6 things that went on site. Now, if they left a review, not only is that on Google or Facebook or wherever, but now that gets brought in too.
Yeah, the reviews also populate onto your page.
But the 80% who didn't do anything helped you get 6 different changes that were unique content to the website on 2 different pages. Every job. Which if you did 100 roofs would be 600 different touches to your website. And guys, I've done this a long time and people pay us to do this stuff. You really could not pay us or would not want to pay us the extra money
to update your pages twice a week.
Yeah.
To update 2 pages twice a week every week.
12 changes.
Yeah.
Maybe more to pull the review back. So all of this, it'll take 2 minutes on your phone. And all of a sudden you have the most active roofing website in town with custom content going onto it. 2 minutes a job, 600 plus changes per year, 600 plus because it's 6 every time you do a job, plus some of the reviews will get posted back to the pages. Right? It's actually 7. I forgot the master map page that gets a code.
That too.
Yeah. But anyway, it's over 600.
Yeah, because there's also a master review and master check-in pages that shows all of them.
Yeah.
So there's actually 2 more.
So this is a twofer.
Yeah.
I didn't mean when I said mega roofing SEO changes. There are mega SEO changes, but you can get mega changes to your website by utilizing righteous reviews that's thoughtfully included as original part from a company who is exceedingly good at doing digital marketing for roofing.
Fully integrated to every aspect of your website that we can plug it into. It's not it's not a throwaway, it's not bolted on, it's not just on one page. It's filtered throughout the site so that when you fill out those check-ins, it maximizes any part of your site that we can touch it.
So I'm going to explain that further. So guys, if you didn't have a custom page that was uniquely written well for a service or a city, you have no ability to organically show up for the service or the city, okay? There's 2 other pieces of software that are similar in the market that sell for hundreds as an aftermarket like add-on. It reminds me of what were those things that sucked on the brains in Futurama, you know?
The brain slugs.
The brain slug. Anybody watch Futurama, but you don't want to slap that on afterwards. It's an integrated part,
You want your brain slug in there from the beginning.
Right. It's a very poor quality virus, right? Or you just pop that
Think
off.
of it more like if you bought a car and you stuck a big honking
Hemi
spoiler.
Oh, okay.
That does nothing, but somebody told you it would look good. But it actually doesn't really help the performance.
It's like a
of the
big
car.
muffler.
That is like an amazing analogy that I just came up with by the way. That spoiler is like lipstick on a pig,
okay.
but doesn't perform a function. Not really. It doesn't really help all that much. It just makes you think.
I'm sorry, Jason, but lipstick on a pig does help.
I don't want to know what you're doing this weekend.
I'm not from the deep woods of Texas. All right, but yeah. So if this module is after the fact, just to clarify this, it's going to drop all the check-ins, the photos, and the captions into a gobbledygook page of trash. And if you're on an auxiliary city doing a very occasional TPO roof repair, for example, man, they're not going to show a page that had 40 cities on it or even 20 or 10 with multiple pictures and photos, and nothing interrelates to each other.
Yeah.
The fact that the short codes on the page that you want to optimize, the only thing that could possibly optimize is the stuff that was built to optimize for that page. Otherwise, Google's not going to send somebody. Otherwise, people could just string data onto one page of junk and put 40,000 things on it, and it would show up in ranking.
Right.
That sort of stuff, guys, doesn't show up in ranking. So this review tool is highly superior because of that. It absolutely makes stuff work.
Because if you just have the page of reviews or just have a page of check-ins, they're all individual and they don't link together.
Yeah.
They're not related in any way.
Right.
I mean, Google looks at it and says, "Oh, they have check-ins. That's good." That's okay. But they don't really know what to do with it.
But what are we supposed to do with this page of trash?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you've got this page about, you said TPO roofing, and then you've got check-ins doing that exact thing. The check-ins support the content supports the check-ins, it's all linked together.
Right.
And then if someone does a search for a TPO roofer, Google says, oh, that's a really good page about that.
Right.
And that person has expertise, authority, and trust. Let's show that page number one.
Right. So I give an example of one. Let's say that you're doing, let's say that you're next to Springfield, Illinois, and you've now done, I'm going to use TPO as an example again, or how about roof insurance claims help?
Okay.
So you do roof insurance claims help in Springfield, Illinois. Now there's roofers that are located in Springfield, but all of a sudden you have this page about Springfield, and it's got content above it, and it says, roofing repair Springfield, Illinois, or roofer in Springfield, Illinois is your H1 tag.
Right.
You've got 250, 350 words of content, whatever. Then all of a sudden underneath it, pictures of shingle roofs start showing up with captions. Just did a hail damage roof repair in Springfield. And then they start showing up there. The little pins on maps I was over on this part of Springfield, and we were over here. And if you want to check it out, you can go look at righteous.reviews, by the way.
Right.
And you can see a little bit more information about this. And then your Springfield page, because the reason I use hailstorms is because let's say that there had been a hailstorm in Springfield. You're the only guy that is actually updating what's going on,
Right.
showing check-ins, showing pictures of jobs. All of a sudden your page for that is very strong, and it might even help correlate back into the mapping to show up better. You'd have a better reason to show up on a wider spectrum map when they see the geocodes of where you're showing up.
Yeah, because each one of those check-ins, you don't see this part of it because it's in the source code. It has, he referred to the check-in schema before, but it's got schema, it's got a check-in, meaning that a service provider checked in at this location, then it has geo coordinates for the location.
Right.
Built into that code. Google sees that, and they're reading the geolocation of the searcher.
Right.
And they're saying, oh, you repaired a roof after a storm 2 blocks over from this guy.
Right.
So you're legit. You're like the closest thing.
The
we
most
know
relevant
in his
thing
area.
we could figure
There's
out.
another roofer whose office address is closer, but that guy's 3 miles away. You
Right.
actually did a roof 1 street over.
Right.
And so all of a sudden you're more relevant.
So let's say that you're really good at roof insurance help, or you got to be careful in the terminology on that nowadays.
Yeah.
For depending on what state you're in. But let's say that you're really good at, I don't know, architectural shingles or whatever, storm damage, roof repair. Wouldn't it be nice if you could portray that to Google, right? Now, currently, you can go into your GMB and say what your radius is, and you can say what you do, but the reviews don't really bring that forth, and then your map shows up.
Yeah.
If you're
well,
lucky.
you're also hoping that the person who leaves the review says what you
Talks
did for
about
them.
it. You are.
And more often than not, they'll just say, "Hey, Jim was great. He
Right.
did a great job on
Right.
our house,"
Right.
and that's all you get.
Right.
But with the check-in, you control how you talk about it.
You can talk about it. It circles back through everything. Your organic pages at least have this information now, and then you're illustrating to the public all the stuff that you do, and it bolsters the organic, all these items, in case we haven't said it in the last few minutes, get spidered by Google, they see it, and it makes your keywords show up in ranking.
Right.
So, and guys, again, just to sum up some points here, you've got to have great base level stuff. It's got to be done. I call it base level. Somebody asked me if we did mobile, and I'm like, of course, and I guess I said it in a way that, and he's like, well, I'm sorry. I said, I apologize. I didn't mean to be like that. It's just that I haven't, I don't
We've
get
been
to
answering that question for 6 years.
Yeah, so all this stuff gets done SSLs and mobile ready, called responsive, and all these things, custom work, custom code, custom everything custom, as much
Yes.
stuff as we can do. And so all that is a given now. It does get a grade through the algorithm, and then you've got to do more. And if you're the only guy getting over 600 changes per year to your website, or frankly, I don't care if you did 20 jobs in a year, you're going to have more changes than anybody in your market.
Probably so, yeah.
Yeah, so you'll be the only guy in town, and those are going to make the pages move up, which is going to get more jobs and more changes. And then that all works together. It's like Google Utopia for this stuff for roofing SEO. So anyway, there's our mega roofing SEO changes in 2020. Changes two ways. Changes is how you look at what's going on to optimize your website, and changes to your website itself and how they can integrate so masterfully through a product we have called Righteous Reviews that gets integrated. There we go. There's a roofer calling right now.
There you go.
Y'all call us.
Watching live.
All right.
Oh, no, wait, don't do live.
Yeah,
See ya.
we should. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.